Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Learn How to Sudoku, where we take a very easy variant Sudoku puzzle and we break it down in detail so that you can learn how to Sudoku. Today's very easy puzzle is called Foggy Skyscraper Killer Sandwiches by Page Dough. And I guess it's a pretty much accurate representation of the puzzle. So I guess it's Fog of War, Skyscraper Puzzles, Killer Sudoku, and Sandwiches. Here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means fill the entire grid, the entire 9 by 9 grid, with the digits 1 through 9, such that there are no repeats in any row, column, or 3 by 3 region. We have outside. Okay, it's not Killer Cage, it's Little Killer. So these are all rules that are outside the grid. So outside the grid digits, clues, we have skyscrapers, where we have icons of 2 vertical bars. Okay, so that's this. Each cell represents a skyscraper whose height is a digit in that cell. Taller skyscrapers obscure the view of smaller ones. Clues outside the grid tell how many skyscrapers are visible looking across the row or column from the direction of the clue. So this is a skyscraper clue here. So that little index with 2 vertical bars is the skyscraper index icon. So this is a different one. And this says that we see 2 skyscrapers in this direction. So we would only see 2 skyscrapers looking at this direction. So as an example, you could see 8 here and then 9 here. And since you would only see these 2, these digits would not be seen at all, right? Because the 9 would block all vision of any other skyscraper because all of those have to be less than 9. And anything that's equal to or less, but you can't have equal to on the same column. Anything that's less than another digit is blocked from view in that direction. So you could also have another example, say, of something like 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 9. And then the 2, 3, 4, 5 is not seen from this direction because it's all blocked by the 8, right? So that's an example of how skyscrapers work. We also have, includes outside the grid, little killers, where an icon is a diagonal arrow. So this is an example of a little killer here. Clues outside the grid gives the sum of the digits on the indicated diagonal. So for example, these 3 digits must add up to 8 because we have a little killer clue there, and then the 8 is in that cell, which means that these 3 digits must add up to 8. And that's how little killer clues work. And finally, we have outside the grid, we have sandwich sums, which is the icon of 3 horizontal bars. So this is a sandwich clue. So clues outside the grid indicate the sum of the digits between 1 and 9 in that row or column. So you could have something like, for example, 9, 8, and 1. And that would work because between the 9 and the 1 in this column is digits that add up to 8. Because it's a single digit, and that works. Anyways, those are all the outside the grid rules. We also have inside the grid rules, where cells with a gray square contain even digits. So this digit would have to be even. Cells with a gray circle contain odd digits. So this would have to be odd. Digits joined by a white dot are consecutive. Cells joined by a black dot, one digit is double the other, and not all dots are given. So for example, if this were a 6, this would have to be a 5 or a 7 to make sure that these digits are consecutive. And let's say we had a black dot here. If this were 2, this would have to be 1 or 4 to maintain the 1 to 2 ratio between the digits, cells separated by a black dot. And then parts of the board are covered in fog. Placing the correct digit in all the revealed cells will lift more fog and reveal other cells. Okay, I don't know why it's called in all the revealed. This sounds like it's a dynamic fog of war puzzle here, so it's not going to be normal. Up until recently, which was normal fog of war. Actually, I don't remember what the term people use for it. There was a good term for it, but basically, it used to be that fog of war. If you place the correct digit here, it would clear the fog in that cell, and then in all the surrounding 8 cells around it. But it sounds like this is not that type of fog of war. It's more of a dynamic one where basically, based on certain places, you'll clear out certain pieces of fog. Anyways, those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's learn how to Sudoku. Okay, so here, let's start with the 8 little killer clue here. That's saying that 8 has to be the sum of these 3 digits. Well, we already have a 2 here, so you cannot have 1, 2, 5 adding up to 8. It has to be 1, 3, and 4. All gray cells contain odd digits, so this cannot be even, so this is odd. The remaining digits in this box have to be 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So this is 5, 6, 7, 8. This is consecutive with 5, 6, 7, or 8. So it's 4 through 9 here. This is an even digit. So this is 2, 4, 6, or 8, which means it's between 1 and 3. 1, 3. These have to be odd digits then. Let's see. What else do we know? So 4 has to be one of these 2 digits. It only sees 3 digits here. Sorry, 2 digits this way. Between the 1 and the 9 has to be 8. Digits that add up to 8. So this could be 9 as long as this is 8 and this is 1. That works. This cannot be 9 because if this is 9, this would have to be 8 here, and that would not be between 9 and 1. And if we try to have a 1 this way, so this would be at least 8 and 7 here. That would mean this 9 would have 15 this way, and these 2 digits have to add up to 4 and 5 at least, which is 9, so it couldn't have 1 that way. So this can never be 9 here. We also can't have a 9 in this cell. So 9 could be either one of these 2 or this one. If this is 9, this has to be 8. And this would be 7. And then would there be 8? A sum of digits adding up to 8 between the 9 and the 1. Well, between the 9 and the 1, 8 would be here. 1 could be here, but the problem is that you'd have 1 digit here adding up to, how do you see it? You'd have 1 digit here adding up with this, and it could not be 8 because 9 would be here, this would be 8, this would be 7. And 8 couldn't be here. So 9 can never be here, which means this cannot be 8. If 9 is here, you would have to have 8 here, and this would be 1. If 9 is here, 1 can't be here. 1 can't be any of these. 1 can't be here because then you'd have no digits adding up to 8 in between. Obviously, that's the same with this. If this is 1, this would be 2 and 3, so that's 5 at most. And then, sorry, 5 at least. Actually, it would just be 5, period, between the 9 and the 1. Obviously, 9 can't be here because then it would see 1 skyscraper this way. So if this was 9 and this was 1, this would be 5 digits, and that would never add up to 8. So 9 can never be here either. This must then be 9, which forces this to be 8. We have to have we have to have digits adding up to 8 in between the 1 and the 9. It could be here. It cannot be here. It cannot be here because then this would be 2 and 3. So if it were one of these two, the problem is you'd have 2, 3, and you'd have 3, 4, 5. It can't be 2 here. So 3, 4, 5 at minimum, which would be 12. So the only way you can have a 1 here is it's here, which makes this 3, which makes that a 4. This is 1. This cannot be 8 here, here, or here. That means we have to see 2 digits here. If either of these are 7, the problem is it would see one of these digits, it would see the 7, and it would see the 9. So it does not see, so this can never be 7 here. Therefore, this is a 3-5 pair adding up with 4 here, which means this can't be 5. We have to have a 2. If there's a 2 here, it would see more than 3, so this must be a 2 here. Which leaves this as a 6 or a 7, which it would see. 5, 6, or 7 is consecutive with 4 through 8, but this can't be 4. This can't be... So it could be 6, 5, 4, but the problem is 4 is already in the box. So this can't be 6, 5, 4. It could be 5, 6. This can't be 8, because if this is 8, this is 7, this is 8, 9. We already have a 9 in the box. So it could be 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 6. It can't go down 5, 4. So 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, and 5 are possible here. Oh, this is 15. So these two digits add up to 15, which makes this a 6 and this is a 7 then. This can't be 6. This can't be 6. So this is 5 or 7, which can only be consecutive with 6 out of the remaining digits. So this is 6, which means this is 5 or 7 also. We see 2 skyscrapers this way. Therefore, it must see this digit and that digit, and that's it. So this has to be an 8. Because if it's any other digit, it would see the 8 before it would see the 9 here. This has 11 as a sandwich clue between the 9 and the 1. So it's 4 here, and you could have... It could be 4 and 7, which would make that 1. Or you could have 3 digits here. You can't have 4 digits with the 4, because that would mean the remaining digits would have to add up to 11 minus 4, which is 7. And that if you have 3 digits adding to that, it would be 1, 2, and 4. And we already have a 4 in the column. Therefore, 1 could potentially be here. If this is 1, though, that would force this to be 2. So in between, for 3 digits adding up to 11, it would could only be 2, 4, and 5, because 1 is not included. And that doesn't work because 1 would be here. Therefore, 1 cannot be here, so the 1 has to be here, which makes this a 7, which makes that 5, which makes that 7, which makes that 5. That leaves these two as consecutive. 2 cannot be here, therefore this is 2, this is 3, which makes that 5, which makes that 3. Therefore that makes this a 6, this has to be 8. These 3 digits is a little... This clue is a little killer, and a skyscraper, and a sandwich clue. So for the little killer, that means this has to be 1. This has to be a 4-9 pair then. This sees 6 digits here. If this were a 5 or above here, the problem is it would see at most 5 skyscrapers, and we know it sees 6, so this cannot be 5. This is 2, 3, or 4 here. This sandwich means that the 6 has to be in between 1 and 9, or it's... Okay, so this is 2, 3, or 4. This cannot be 6 or higher, because if it's 6 or higher, that would see this cell, it would see the 6 or higher here, and then it could only see 3 more skyscrapers, which we know it sees 6. So this has to be 1 through 5, but it can't be 2. Similarly, this has to be 6 or less. So it's 1, 2, no 3, 4, or 6. This has to be 7 or less, 8 or less, or 9 or less. But this can't be 9. Okay, so we know 9 has to be in column 4. It can't be any of these. It can't be here. It can't be next to the black dot, which is the black Kropke dot, which is it gives you a 1 to 2 ratio, because 9 is double 4.5, which is not a normal Sudoku, which is not a digit. And if you double 9, you get 18, which is not a digit either. So whereas the 9, it has to be here. So it will see the 9 here. The 9 means that you have to have 6 in between the 9 and the 1. Well, this can only be either 2, 4, or a 6 with a 1 here, but 6 and 1 are not in a 1 to 2 ratio. Therefore, this must be 2 and 4, and this must be 1. So this is not 2 because of the 2 in the row. So this is 4, this is 2. This cannot be 4, 2, or 1. So this is 6. This can't be 4 or 2, so this is 3. This can't be 1, 3, or 4, so this is 5. And now we have 7 and 8. So it sees all 5 of these, right? It's 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then it sees 9. This is also a little killer clue, a sandwich clue, and a skyscraper clue. If this were 4 or higher, it would only see at most 6 skyscrapers. So this has to be 1 or 2, and it can't be 1 or 3. So this, or it could be 1, 2, or 3, but it can't be 1 or 3 specifically because of the 1 or 3 in the row. Therefore, this is 2. This could be 3, or it could be 4. This is 4 or less, because if it's 4 or less, it would see 2, 4. It could possibly see 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 7 skyscrapers. Also, these add up to 7, these two cells. So it has to be 1, 2, 1, 6, 2, 5, or 3, 4. But it can't be 2, 5 because of the 2 in the cell. So this is 4 or 6, which makes this with 1 or 3. This is at minimum 4. Sorry, at maximum 4. So this is not 2. It's 1, 3, or 4 here. This is at maximum 5, but it can't be 5. So this has to be less than 5, which makes this 1 or 4. Well, we have in this box, so this has to be, okay, so this cell, it doesn't have to be seen here. This sees, I guess it could see 3 here. So this is at maximum a 6, because it could see, it has to see at least 4 other skyscrapers this way. So this would be 6 at most, 7, 8, and 9. So this could be see all the digits here. The remaining digits in this lower right box, we have a 1, 3, 4, 6 quadruplet, which eliminates 1, 3, 4, 6 in that box. Therefore, this is 5, 7, 8, and 9 left, and 5 cannot be either of these because of the 5 here and the 5 here. Whereas the 5, it has to be here. This becomes a 7, 8, and 9 triplet. This has to be 4, 6, or 9 here, and 6 cannot be in this box because of the 6 in the box. So this can't be 6. This is a 4, 9 pair, which eliminates 4 here. Therefore, this is 6, this is 1, which makes this a 4 and this a 3. This 4 eliminates 4 here, so this is 9, which makes that 4. None of these can be 9. Where is the 9 in this box? It has to be here, so that's 9. This again could be 6, 7, 8, 9 at maximum. So this, any of these could be 1. So this could be 1. It can't be 2, 3, 4. We have 5 as a possibility. So the remaining digits have to be... This can't be 9. This can't be 9. Where is the 9 then in column 7? Can't be either of these because it has to be able to see other skyscrapers, and this would block things off. So this must be a 9 here. Remaining digits here. It could be 1, 5, 6, and 8. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. This can't be 5 or 6. This can't be 1. It must see 3 skyscrapers here. And none of these can be 1. This can't be 1 because it couldn't see that. So it must see this one, it must see this one, and it must see this one, which means it must be continuously increasing here. So this can't be 5. This can't be 5 or 6 because of that 6. So this must be 8. This could be 6 or 7. This could be 5 or 6. None of these can be 8, obviously. Where is the 1 in column 7? It has to be here. So this is 1. This is a 7, 8 pair, which eliminates 7, 8 in the rest of the row. So this is a 1, 2 pair here. This has to be a 7, 8 pair here. Oh, the sandwich has to be 7 in between the 9 and the 1. Therefore, this is 7, which makes this 6, which makes that a 5. This is saying there has to be 8 in between the 1 and the 9, because that's a sandwich clue. And if this were 7, this would have to be 1 and then 9, but that's already we already have a 1 in the column. Therefore, this is 8, this is 7, this has to be 9. This little killer clue says that we see these 4 digits must add up to 23, and these 4 digits must add up to 23. Well, this is 3, 7, and 9, so that's 19, which makes this a 4, which makes that a 9. This 5 skyscraper clue says we see 5 skyscrapers. The remaining digits here are 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. This can't be 3 or 6. This can't be 6 or 7. This can't be 2, 4, or 7. This can't be 2, 4, or 7. None of these could be 7. So where is the 7 in column 9? It must be here. We have a 3, 6, 3, 6 pair, which eliminates 3 and 6 in the rest of the column. So this is 2 or 4. This is 2 or 4. Okay, so it will see this cell no matter what. If this is 4, it would only see 1 out of 6 and then 7, 9. So that would see 4 digits. So this cannot be 4. This is 2. This is 4. If it sees 6 here, then it would see only 2, 6, 7, and 9. That's 4 cells. So this can't be 6. This is 3. This is 6. Okay, these 4 digits add up to 23. This is 4 and 7 add up to 11. These 3 digits have to be what? 4, 5, and 8. And this can't be 4, 8, so this is 5. This can't be 4, 5. This is 8. This is 4. We have 4, 5, and 7, which adds up to 12 plus 4 is 16. 23 minus 16 is 7. So this is 7. This is 8. This 7 eliminates 7 here, so this is 8. This is 7. This 3 says that we have to have 3 sandwiched in between 1 and 9, or digits that add up to 3, and that can only be 3. So this is 3, this is 1. This 1 eliminates 1 here, this is a 2 and a 1. We now just do normal Sudoku. this is 1, 2, and 3 in left in column 8. This can't be 1 or 3, so this is 2. This can't be 1 or 2, so this is 3, which makes that 1. We should have we have 8 2s. Actually, let's do 1s. We have 9 1s, so that's fine. We have 8 2s. We know where the last 2 has to be. It has to be here. We have 8 3s. The last 3 has to be here. 4s. We have 8 4s. The last 4 has to be here. 5. Well, in row 4, we know the 5 has to be here. So now we have 8 5s, which means we know where the last 5 has to be. It has to be here. 6s, the last 6 has to be in row 2 here. And therefore we have 8 6s. We know where the last 6 has to be. It's here. And that leaves this as a 9. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Just basically following all the rule sets. It's nice because it gives you a sense for how you could potentially work with skyscrapers or sandwich clues or little killer clues. So that was nice. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Learn How to Sudoku. And I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.